British police confirm they've spoken to prosecutors about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor.
Don't forget, we've now got 2 assessments going on by the police.
Plus, the palace breaks its silence on Andrew and Epstein after more bombshell allegations.
You've just got to think about, whoa, that's a bit of a moment.
Claims Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor shared a confidential documents with Jeffrey Epstein.
Who really funded Andrew's settlement to Virginia Giuffre?
Stories around how that £12 million was made up and who sort of put money into the pot.
And Prince William plays the statesman in Saudi Arabia.
You cannot underestimate what a significant visit this was for Prince William.
But can he escape the shadow cast by his uncle's connections?
The palace were hoping that would draw a line under it.
And guess what?
It didn't.
Was the trip overshadowed? Absolutely.
Well, completely.
Absolutely it was.
Hello, welcome to Talking Royals. Charlene, Chris and Lizzie are together. But
Together last week.
we were together last week, but we haven't been together all week.
No.
Did you miss us?
You've been in Saudi.
We have been. We've been in Saudi Arabia with the Prince of Wales.
What was interesting is, from our perspective, being in the UK, we didn't actually, I would argue, see that much or hear that much about the actual trip itself, because predictably, and we did predict this on the episode last week, it was very much overshadowed by events with the Epstein files and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, because just before, and they tried to stop that because William released a statement, didn't he?
Yeah, before he'd even landed, we had a statement from a Kensington Palace spokesperson saying that both the Prince and Princess of Wales have been deeply concerned by the revelations regarding Jeffrey Epstein and that their thoughts remain with the victims. Now, that was before William had even touched down. So that was what we were all talking about leading up to his arrival in Saudi Arabia. I think perhaps the palace were hoping that would draw a line under it and therefore the focus would turn to the visit.
And guess what?
It didn't.
Yeah. When did you hear about it? Did you know that they were planning on releasing something?
No, so we were at a pre-briefing. So we were at the British Embassy in Riyadh, where they were saying we went meet the ambassador there, and he said, "Okay, this is what the trip's about, but also this is what Saudi Arabia is about at the moment. Because it's important that we understand the country that William's coming to, and why he's coming there as well, why the British government have sent him there." And at the end of that briefing, they said, "Oh, by the way, we've just got a couple of quick lines on Jeffrey Epstein," and we all went, "What? What?" And because actually, William and Kate have never ever spoken about the allegations surrounding Prince Andrew before. So their spokesman saying, "Oh, I've got a quick quote for you on from."
That's
William
how
and
you
Kate.
found out.
And that's how we found out. Yeah.
Okay, but it's not surprising, isn't it? Because they needed to deflect away from.
I think
they were trying to
deflect.
I think they couldn't have. I think they felt they couldn't go into this week and this important, significant visit for Prince William without addressing this, because it's what we're all talking about, and therefore they needed to acknowledge that. Now, later that day, Prince William then arrives in country, and I think they were hoping then that the visit would very much get underway.
Before we get there, though, but did you think it was a good enough statement? Because I thought it was pretty weak. I mean, we are deeply concerned and our thoughts are victims. It was a bit like, some of the responses that I had from people both within journalism, newsrooms, but also from outside journalism was, is that it?
It said a lot without saying
it said the basic obvious, we're a bit concerned about these allegations and our thoughts are with the victims. Of course they should be with the victims. I kind of thought that statement didn't go anywhere near as far enough to sort of divert anyone's attention.
Do you know what, though? I would say, do you remember when the King, I know the King did another statement this week, but when the King
and that's what we're building up to.
Yeah, and did their original statement, I would argue theirs was stronger.
Right. Okay.
I feel the wording of the King and Queen statement when the Epstein, when he stripped Andrew, I feel like that was a slightly stronger statement than the one that William and Kate had given.
Yes. And we were told, no, it's not the first time that William and Kate have spoken about it because they associated themselves with the King's comments back in October. Well, that's not
their names were not written underneath that statement.
They just said they supported what their father, the King, had done to Prince Andrew. So I kind of thought, if you're going to say something about the Prince Andrew allegations and the whole story around Jeffrey Epstein for the first time, personally, I would have done a little bit more.
And then the King gave another statement this week.
Yeah, so just prior to that, Prince William arrives in Saudi Arabia, in the capital in Riyadh, and he is going for a very important meeting with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and he's en route to that, or I'm en route to go and cover that. And then we get an email from Thames Valley Police to say that they are assessing claims that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor shared confidential documents with Jeffrey Epstein when he was in his role as a UK trade envoy. So they are assessing those allegations. So find that out when we're en route to cover this important meeting between the two of them. And then later that day, Buckingham Palace came out with another statement.
So you can see why now, if you put it like that. Was the trip overshadowed on that day? Absolutely.
Well, completely.
Absolutely, it was, yeah.
It says here, the King has made clear his profound concern at allegations which continue to come to light in respect of Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor's conduct. If we are approached by Thames Valley Police, we stand ready to support them.
And that's the key in this, isn't it? That Buckingham Palace are here saying, if we are approached by Thames Valley Police regarding these claims, we stand ready to support them.
Yeah, I mean, break that down. Buckingham Palace saying, the police want to come in and investigate anything in Windsor or where elsewhere to do with these claims about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, then we will help them. I mean, you've just got to think about, that's a bit of a moment, isn't it, for monarchy?
Can you think of a
the
moment in history
but I can't think of a time in recently when that's happened. And don't forget, we've now got 2 assessments going on by Thames Valley Police, the force that looks after Windsor. We've got the one looking into claims in the files that a woman was trafficked for sex with Andrew when he was there. He's denied all the allegations consistently. We've been in touch with his office to ask them to respond. But we've now got 2 assessments going on. And it was after that second one that the palace, clearly, I think a penny dropped saying, we can't keep silent.
Can't keep silent about this.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it was a significant statement. It's for Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor, they refer to him, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor, to answer for the allegations. But we stand ready to help the police.
Yes.
Now, that's the kind of statement that I thought met the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think William and Kate's did.
You have
to, but I guess from their point of view,
they're not the king.
The king is the head of state. It is for him to make that level of state.
But one could argue, as someone that's in line to become the head of state at some moment in time, having a statement that's full of gravitas, where people feel like he has got a hold of just how serious the situation is, and although he is not the head of state yet, if there are awkward or potentially police-related situations that come up in the future, we can see that he has got the gravitas and the power to really understand how serious this is.
I don't think it reflected what William thinks either, because, I was having a conversation on the trip and the conversation spiraled round. Do you remember that outside the funeral for the Duchess of Kent when Andrew tried to talk to William and William let it be known with that face of please get away from me face, that conversation came up and it was like, well, there you go. That's what William thinks of his uncle. You saw it in his face. You don't need to hear what he thinks.
So why wouldn't he say
it
in a statement?
So therefore, why didn't you go further in the statement? Yeah.
This is a story.
It was 2
that
lines as well. It was 2 lines.
Every day there is, there's 3 million files.
Yeah.
So every day there is something new because people are still going through those files. It takes a long time to go through all of them. And so it may not be the last time that the allegations come to light regarding individuals who have connections with the royal family. So are they going, are we likely to see more powerful statements down the line, or should they just release one that kind of says, this is how we feel very strongly and just get it done?
Well, I think, every time they've released statements, we had the statement back in October when Andrew was stripped of pretty much everything and forced out of Royal Lodge. I think at that stage, Buckingham Palace were hoping that had drawn a line in the sand, and clearly, things have escalated once again, and they've felt the need to release yet another statement.
You can't sit on a statement that you made 3 or 4 months ago. The story's moved on. There have been more allegations. There are only allegations. Andrew denies, and any involvement in these emails does not indicate any wrongdoing. But the claims are out there, the allegations are out there, and people are talking about it. So, you've got to meet the moment.
And we did an interview with Virginia Giuffre's brother, and he had said that he would love to share his sister's story face to face with the king. Knowing the way the royal family operates, what is the likelihood that Virginia Giuffre's brother is likely to get that, do you think?
Unlikely, would I say impossible, no. I mean, I kind of think it all depends really where the criminal stage of the investigation is. Don't forget, you've got a head of state here. It's His Majesty's government, and the government obviously employed Andrew, or not employed him, hired him as for free as a trade envoy. The king's in a very difficult position when it comes to the law of the land, because he is the law of the land. When you go to court, it's His Majesty's court, versus whoever's being accused of the crime. I think if it reached a point where, either the criminal investigation had been closed, or whether, either they haven't gone ahead with it, or there has been a conclusion, perhaps, because I think the king is prepared to have difficult conversations. It's whether or not he could do it privately, with the press find out about it. I mean, it would be a huge moment, wouldn't it?
And there was also allegations in the press this week that the settlement money to Virginia Giuffre was part financed by the king. Is that true?
So the settlement with Virginia Giuffre has always been reported as being £12 million. And there have been some stories around this week about how that £12 million was made up and who sort of put money into the pot. There was a story in The Sun saying that was made up in part from the Queen, some money from Prince Philip's estate, and then some money from King Charles.
I don't think anyone wants to get involved in the finer detail. Our understanding is that is not what happened. It's not true. And in fact, there was a story in the Times, which oddly, as you might know if you know how the press works, is in the same stable as The Sun. It's owned by Rupert Murdoch, News UK, and the Times are saying actually it wasn't true. Thing is, we don't honestly know how much he's paid. It was thought to be around £12 million. We don't know. We don't know where the money came from either. The monarch has several sources of private income. We just do know it wasn't. Whatever money was paid didn't come from the taxpayer.
It's privately funded.
Okay. Right. Let's talk about the trip itself. So we talked a lot about the story that overshadowed the diplomatic trip to Saudi Arabia. So considering he flew all that way, we really should talk about what William was up to whilst he was there.
Why not?
How was the desert? Did you slap on a lot of factor 50?
It was 30 degrees Celsius out there. And given what's one of the stories in the news here this week that we would have missed because it was so hot, it's been raining for 41 days non-stop or something like that, isn't it?
This is not the time for you to show off about being in the heat.
I kind of heard the story, but I thought it wasn't relevant to me as I was...
Oh my goodness me, there is just no need to throw such awful shade in my direction.
I mean, it is, it's not a very green place. I think we can agree on that. They are trying to green up Riyadh because it's growing massively and they're sort of doing a lot of planting, but it's not...
Is that why he was there, about green?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why he was there, wasn't there?
So this is like, you cannot underestimate what a significant visit this was for Prince William. He was there travelling at the request of the British government, and they have to think quite carefully about how they deploy the royal family, what they use them for throughout the year. And Saudi Arabia are huge investors in the UK, and we've got a lot of diplomatic ties with them, whether it's trade, energy, or investment.
And Newcastle United Football Club as well.
And so William is deployed, and we're going to use that term with his soft power.
So he's on like a big charm offensive in Riyadh.
Kind of, yeah. I think the way it was, at the aforementioned briefing we had with the ambassador, a few things that came out from that they kind of wanted the rest of the world to know about. Saudi Arabia is modernising at a rapid rate, but it's not westernising. What does he mean by that? Well, just because you're becoming more built up, you don't leave, the things that have made you a country, you don't leave that behind and become more Western. So I don't think they're going to become like the new Dubai or the new Abu Dhabi. But it is very different to those other Gulf states. Yes, they've got a whole bunch of oil, but it's going to run out, and B, a lot of the world is transitioning away from oil at the moment. So they're trying to find a way. We are a huge country. We're not little Qatar or little Bahrain or little Kuwait. We are a massive geographical country about the size of Western Europe with 35 million people in it, all of whom need jobs. And therefore, we're going to have to diversify our economy in order to create jobs for 35 million people. And therefore, it is growing and growing and growing. It's so fast that Riyadh was just like a building site, wasn't it? It's just like it's... And one of the things I thought was quite interesting, they explained it, that it's like when we went from the era of Queen Elizabeth I to the era of Queen Elizabeth II, but in about 4 decades.
Okay,
that's the kind of transition, but they can't do it too fast because there are very conservative people in Saudi Arabia who want the state to, adhere to its religious principles.
So now at the heart of this relationship is Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
MBS is how they call him, even in Saudi Arabia.
So MBS.
William had a very private, intimate dinner with the Crown Prince, which is an incredibly rare thing for
no cameras, no nothing.
No cameras.
Just chewing the fat together.
There were some of their teams were also invited to the dinner, but it was what was described to us as intimate, and that is really rare for the Crown Prince to do that. He'll meet diplomats when they come over to Saudi Arabia, but he won't necessarily have one of these dinners.
They met prince to prince.
And how what the Crown Prince thinks, and that relationship, establishing that relationship, is really important. We're told that the dinner went very well, that they were delighted that Prince William was there.
Crown Prince Salman is meeting the heir to the throne of the British, and therefore that's important. For example, when Keir Starmer went there and when Rishi Sunak before him went there, they got the tour of the same place that the Prince William went to. Did MBS accompany them? Absolutely, he didn't. We should also say there's some very serious allegations surrounding Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the allegations that several organisations have accused him of ordering the assassination of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Turkish embassy. Therefore, this man he doesn't run like William, like a constitutional monarchy. He runs an absolute monarchy, and he's in charge.
He denies all of those things, though. So when you've got those kind of allegations that have been thrown in the royal direction in Saudi, how does that work with that relationship then? So yes, they are both heirs to the throne. These things are never plain sailing. And so how then does William balance on that tightrope? Is the intimate dinner one of those balancing acts?
Well, basically, we were told that Prince William will raise concerns. I mean, he could have or might not have, we don't know, but we were told if William's got something on his mind, he'll raise it. But the way the Saudis operate, and you have to respect this because you're in their country, is you don't do this in public. You don't tell to everyone, oh, by the way, yes, he did speak to MBS about this, or he did raise the issue of human rights, or he did. We were only told that if Prince William had something he felt needed raised, he would raise it.
Okay.
But in Saudi, you don't do that in public. You do it in private, and you don't tell anyone about it. So that's what they did.
Another indication that the visit went well. Prince William went to a region called Al Ula, which we'll get to in a minute when we talk about our visit there. But during that visit, he had a lunch with another Crown Prince, Crown Prince Badr, who is a minister for culture, but he is also part of sort of MBS's inner circle. And there are very few people in that circle that can influence MBS. And that lunch went so well, it overran quite significantly by about 40 minutes, and the pair of them were then late for their tour of the Old Town. So there were signs that this visit, from a Saudi perspective, went incredibly well. So yes, it might have been overshadowed here, but what matters is how it went from a Saudi Arabia perspective, and it seems to have gone incredibly well.
So there was a lot of hanging out in the desert.
Yep.
We've got a lot of behind-the-scenes pictures of you two, attempting to, oh, wow, look, there you are.
We were being pre-positioned so Prince William did 3 stops in this national park, beautiful national park, and we had a little sort of, what do you call that, a jeep safari to get there. It was going at speed at some point, wasn't it, and down some very steep ravines.
This was incredible. It's like, I think we both said, like somewhere we have never been before. These amazing sandstone rock formations,
sand dunes and stuff. It's beautiful.
And but you can see those rock formations were stunning.
Yeah,
absolutely stunning.
Incredible.
So we're the video you're looking at. We're somewhere called the Sharan Nature Reserve, and this is it's kind of described to us as a crown jewel in the region. And there's a massive,
like something out of a movie.
It's a massive conservation project going on because they really want to introduce back into that area the endangered Arabian leopard. It's not there yet, but they have really high hopes.
We looked out for one. We didn't see one because they're not there yet. But basically, to cut a long story short, you introduce vegetation, which you didn't see a lot of, but they're planting a lot of vegetation to attract the gazelle, and then you have lots of gazelles to attract the leopard.
Oh, I see.
And they're trying to get the Arabian leopard, which at the moment only exists in like Oman and Yemen, but they want it. This area we went to, by the way, is quite up in the northwest of the country. So you're talking about sort of not far from the Red Sea, quite near Jordan, actually quite near the Israel border as well.
Okay, so we know what happens when you guys go away. We understand the rules.
Yeah.
You get to experience these wonderful far-flung places and I have to stay here. And the rules are you bring me back something nice. So where is it, Lizzie?
Yep.
Well-
I failed.
So, and why did you fail, Lizzie? What was your reason?
I was quite busy with some of the stories
matter.
we've just
Doesn't matter.
been
No,
with.
We understand that that's what happens.
Yeah.
We actually flew
But-
back on different planes.
We
So
did.
some of us at the airport remembered that you need a present. So,
Okay.
no, I can't say this is exciting, and it is only from the airport. But
I don't mind
nevertheless-
where the gift comes from as long as there's a gift.
Sorry about that.
Lizzie?
I was on the earlier flight
Okay.
than Chris.
Let me have a look. What have you got in here? Ooh,
and it's wrapped as well.
And it's wrapped, Lizzie.
Fail.
I think I've got so many brownie points coming out of this.
What have we got?
Ooh,
Hot date syrup.
very good.
Made from the finest organic dates. Yay! Oh, thank you.
Perfect for Pancake Day next week, maybe.
Perfect for Pancake Day.
I will.
Oh, my kids are going to be so happy with Uncle Chris.
I will sit in the corner and apologise.
Auntie Lizzie, wow. My daughter may well have a complaint letter heading your way.
Okay.
So there we
Something
go.
back for pancakes last year. Maple syrup.
We've got maple
Syrup
syrup.
from Canada. We
Yeah,
did.
Right.
We
yeah.
did.
So there's a theme here.
Yeah. You're doing all right.
Now we do like to celebrate love here on Talking Royals. So guys, look what I've done for you.
This is really nice.
I've got you roses and I've got you chocolate, but not just any old chocolate.
You sure?
Yes.
You
this
didn't just
is-
go down the corner shop, no?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't actually. I looked far and wide to get the most perfect chocolates for us to have for Valentine's Day. These are by Prestat, and it's the royal family's chosen chocolatier. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
They were
I
granted
like
a
it when you
royal-
educate us on royal things.
I know.
Yeah.
I like to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
They were
often, but,
granted
you know.
a royal warrant by Her Majesty the Queen Mother back in 1975.
And it's been renewed, hasn't it, by King Charles?
It has.
So you've still got their royal warrant.
They do still have their royal warrant. So they're very posh chocolate.
Right. The kind of thing you might get at a state banquet.
Oh, yes.
And actually, we've got one of those
Actually,
coming
yes.
up. Actually, there's some news on that. Because
Yes.
you'd like to make cocktails at state banquets. There's a Nigerian one coming up very soon. So
I have to say, I am very excited about what cocktail they're going to do for the Nigerian state banquet. I think
Yes.
it's going to be epic.
I'm really excited.
Yeah,
about that too.
and I know our team love putting together those state banquet cocktails.
Yep.
So they are awfully excited too. So what I was thinking, because it's Valentine's Day, I thought it was a perfect opportunity for us to take a look back at some of our favourite royal romance moments via using the vehicle of a royal wedding. Yeah. So
I
I've got you
see,
to
right.
choose your favourite royal weddings and your royal wedding moments. And I know that, Lizzie, you love a bit of romance. You love all the pomp and ceremony and all of that. So who have you gone with?
I've gone for the Prince and Princess of Wales,
Ah.
which is the viewer's choice, isn't it?
It is the viewer's choice, Kate and William. We did do a poll online on YouTube. And their favourite wedding at 62% was Kate and William.
Yeah, I mean, those moments, those big royal moments when everyone comes together, fills the streets. It was
When he had hair.
I'm not sure you're allowed to say that. Oh, that was fact.
It's
that-
fact, because he looks so young.
in that
he
beautiful
does.
dress that was Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen, that was kept a secret. It was really kept under wraps until the moment she stepped out of the Goring Hotel and was taken to Westminster Abbey. But there were 1 million people lining the streets in London.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What did you go with? Which one?
Hazza and Meg's.
Can't say Hazza and Meg.
I went with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's wedding in 2018 because it's the only one I've been to.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, so I went to Kate and Williams.
We were literally riding around in a
Golf
golf
buggy.
buggy at Harry and Meghan's wedding because we had to get from one location to another.
Yeah.
And
And I was on the long walk.
it was great, wasn't it? And it was just
such a lovely
fun.
day.
It was different. There was this sort
Stunning.
of American woman entering the royal family. We thought it was going to work out really well. Turned out not so. Well, the marriage worked out well. The being in the royal
Oprah,
family.
You had George and Amal
I also had the Kingdom
Clooney,
Choir.
the Beckhams.
That choir was amazing. And we should credit with King Charles with actually deciding a lot, choosing a lot of the music or helping them choose the music. It just felt different. It felt of its time. It felt like, here's the future. This is going to be...
Gave us optimism, I think.
And I remember thinking, this is going to be really interesting having Meghan Markle in the royal family. Turned out it was interesting, but all sorts of other reasons.
Yeah, it was pretty much short.
But we're not going to talk about that right now because it's Valentine's Day and we're just saying it was a nice thing to do.
And theirs was just a really normal love story, I think.
Well, also there was but there was the story of the Prince of Wales as he was. Prince Charles had to walk her down the aisle because then Thomas Markle didn't turn up. There were so many stories around it as well. But it really felt like the royal family was putting their arms around Meghan at that time. She said things differently since, of course, and there were all the books that have been written about who said what to do. But we weren't focused on that. It's Valentine's Day. And also sunny, beautiful. I mean, if you're going to advertise Windsor to the world, that's the way to do it, wasn't it?
And I remember standing on the long walk as the carriage went past and the sun was shining on the carriage as she went. And I remember slightly losing my words when I was live on ITV at that moment because she just looked stunning in the sunshine. And I was like, oh my God, this is
we did a story, didn't she spot her a high school teacher in the crowd or something as she's cloppity past and she went, whoa, it's you. It was fun, wasn't it? Yeah.
I've gone for Charles and Diana.
Oh, 1980.
Back in 1981, when they walked down the aisle in a dress. Does that? Well, I mean, that dress is very much of the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of the moment. And do you remember that she made a slight mistake in the vows? She said her new husband's name in the wrong order. She said Philip, Charles, Arthur, George by mistake. I guess it's just the nerves.
The thing is, I couldn't tell you what it was. What is it? Philip, George, Arthur, Charles?
Charles Philip.
Charles Philip.
Yeah. Well, she said
Charles
Philip,
obviously
Charles.
first. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We know that.
That's
Philip.
Literally royal family knowledge 101.
Yeah, well, every so often you tell me something new.
And actually, they were the first they set the precedent because they did the first balcony kiss. It wasn't a thing before, and they sort of started off this tradition. And now, as we know, every time a member of the royal family gets married, everyone waits for that moment where they go onto the balcony and they have a wee little kiss.
So Harry and Meghan, because they were at St George's Chapel in Windsor, obviously they didn't have a balcony moment, so they did their kiss on the steps of St George's.
And it's like the big moment everyone waits for and everyone just cheers. And you can imagine when you're sat, obviously we weren't at home for Harry and Meghan's, we were working. But I can imagine those watching it from home, you can imagine in homes up and down the country, people just did that big cheer as they gave the kiss. And it is a moment where we all kind of come together, those royal weddings.
Yeah,
it kind of felt, I know everyone won't be interested in it, but it did feel like a moment when most of the UK was focused on it and then most of the rest of the world was focused on the UK, didn't it? I remember seeing for Harry and Meghan's, the top of one of the hotels in Windsor, quite an old building, and the American broadcaster NBC had built an entire city on top with massive new platform, lights, TV. It must have cost them millions because the old rickety hotel couldn't handle the weight of all the cameras. So
we were the big boys of the world that year, I feel. We really were the big boys of the world. The other favourites in terms of royal weddings, according to our YouTube poll, so Kate and William were at 62%. Harry and Meghan and Charles and Diana were on 16%, and Queen Elizabeth and Philip on 6%. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a quiz.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Love a quiz.
Now, thing is what people listening and watching may not know is Lizzie really likes to prepare for a quiz.
She does, and she also really likes to win a quiz.
And you really like to win a quiz. So what I've done with this quiz, I'm allowing you to play together.
Okay.
And it's not a competition, though.
It's not a competition.
Okay.
It's basically, I just want you to get it right.
Okay.
Basically. I'm not necessarily sure that you will. And I know that Lizzie really likes to revise, which is why I'm throwing this at you, because you haven't revised. No. And I just think it's more fun.
You put a lot of thought into the show this week while we've been in Saudi Arabia, haven't you?
Yeah, it's got a lot of time in my hands. So we are going to play the train game.
The train game.
And I explain to you what the train game is. I'm going to give you a list of royal people, royal women and their wedding dresses. And I want you to tell me who has the shortest train and who has the longest train.
Okay.
And I'll explain to people whilst you're going through that. The names we have on our list are Charlene, Princess of Monaco, because why not? We share a name. We've got Queen Elizabeth II. We've got Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, obviously. We've got Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, and Diana, Princess of Wales. You have 15 seconds
This one?
to complete
Number 2.
the list. Right, time's up.
Here you go.
Let me have a look.
Magic.
Okay. It's wrong, by the way. So if we're doing your answers of what you've got down here, you have done number 1 is the longest and number 5 is the shortest. So you've got the shortest down as Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. And then in 4th place, Queen Elizabeth II. In 3rd place, Charlene, Princess of Monaco. In 2nd place, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And in 1st place, Diana, Princess of Wales.
And the actual order is...
Joint 5th place are Kate and Meghan.
Yep.
And in 3rd place is Queen Elizabeth II at 4.6 metres.
And where did we put her?
And you put her as 4th. So you put her in 4th place. She's actually
Close.
3rd
Close,
place.
okay.
Close.
Pretty much right.
Pretty much. I agree.
In 2nd place is Charlene, Princess of Monaco. And of course, in number 1, which you got correct, is Diana, Princess of Wales, who was a whopping 7.6 metres
Wow.
long.
Wow.
So she had a 25-foot tray. Can you imagine pulling the length of 2 cars? Can you imagine pulling that along with you as you're trying
It's
to
not
walk
the same
down
weight
the
as 2 cars, though, is it?
Yeah, but it's not light. I mean, have you seen all the fabric that's involved with that? That's not going to be a light thing to drag behind you.
It's dirty, doesn't it, being dragged along the floor?
Oh, it'd be absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many times you scrub that floor.
Anyway,
Still gonna be.
we didn't do too badly.
You didn't do too badly.
Basically got it all right.
Yeah.
Basically get it all right. That's it for now. Don't forget, we would love you to subscribe below and keep all your comments and questions coming. We'll be back next Friday, but for now, bye-bye.